Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another employee Q&A session. Today we are with Mr. Dashawn Miller of the Recreation and Tourism Department. He is the Deputy Director. Dashawn, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to be with us today.
No problem at all, Jonathan.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and what the department does.
I'm a new employee here. I've been here about 9 months now, so I just got started with the recreation department. A little bit about what I do is we interact with youth. Also, we interact with the senior center here in Lake City. Pretty much we just introduce sports, basketball, baseball, football, and cheerleading for the recreation and tourism department. So right now we are trying a new sporting event with Esports, so that's pretty much what I've been working on so far right now.
Great. And so how has the recreational sports impacted the local community here?
Pretty much with the recreation department, we have our hands tied in pretty much the youth as well as parents. So on a day-to-day basis, we're pretty much dealing with parents and as well as youth. So what we're trying to do is get kids involved in sports and have them to interact more with each other, especially after the pandemic. So right now we're pretty much in a struggle with trying to interact back into the society to where it was before pre-pandemic. So right now the numbers are a little low, but gradually over time it's getting better. So what we're doing now is we're in baseball. So right now we have our baseball softball team, and that's pretty hectic right now, but everything is going pretty good so far this year.
Great. And so you mentioned esports. We'll break this into one step at a time. But first, explain to those who may not have heard the concept of esports, what it is.
Pretty much in a nutshell, esports is electronic sporting. So pretty much it's the same as traditional sports, football, baseball, basketball, but it's through electronics, PCs, gaming consoles, and pretty much is more so into the tech world rather than just our day-to-day basic traditional sports where they're in physical contact. So esporting is a way to get kids to interact with each other, but yet still be able to interact not just with someone in front of them, but interact with someone maybe in Florence or in a whole other state, and still have that same gaming competitiveness amongst each other. So.
And esports had a rise during the pandemic, right?
Yes. Once the pandemic started, it kind of elevated esports because schooling started to go into virtual learning. So it was pretty much an easy gateway then to get into introducing esports because kids was already familiar with virtual schooling through school. So with that setup, it was kind of easy to just introduce esports into the recreational program.
And so introducing esports into the recreational program, you're going to have a whole, is it like a league you're trying to get started up here?
What we're trying to do is we're trying to integrate esports just in general as far as just general competition, and then eventually as part of the recreation department we want to develop a esporting team so they can go out and compete against each other just as we do in traditional sports. So every child can have pretty much a way of being competitive amongst each other, even if they're not athletic or built differently to participate in traditional sports. So esports allow any child of any aspect, any physical conditions, any kind of health conditions to still be competitive on a recreational level.
So what type of games do you play in esports?
Pretty much like your Smash Bros. Games. You have Fortnite, you have Rocket League, such games as that, just where they're just teaming games where they can compete against each other, and where it's still in a realm of not being explicit, but it's on a youth level.
So August 20th, we have an esports tournament coming to Lake City. Tell us a little bit more about this.
This is the second year that they're introducing the tournament to the city of Lake City. Pretty much it just allowed different gamers to come from different sides of the world, from majority the East Coast. So they'll be able to come in, compete, win prizes, demonstrate their expertise on esports and gaming. So it's just a different level of gamers that will be here to just compete for prizes, have fun on Saturday. So it's pretty much a fun event. So we're kind of just getting introduced into it. So this year we're kind of trying to feel our way to see how it goes. Last year was kind of rough a little, but it still turned out pretty good. But this year we're more, we're jumping on it early so we can get more of a better outcome.
How can people find out more about the Esports Tournament and the recreational league that will be coming to Lake City?
Right now we have our social media sites, Facebook, Lake City Esports, and we also have Instagram, Lake City Esports. So those are our two main sites that we're going to pretty much introduce esports from. So anyone that's interested in esports for Lake City, just go to those two websites, Instagram, Facebook, Lake City Esports.
What are your goals, both short-term and long-term, bringing esports to Lake City?
Short term, we want to introduce the youth to different aspects of Lake City, just something different, something to get them out the house, to get them involved with each other more and be more interactive amongst each other. As far as long term, we're working towards integrating it into the recreation department as a sporting event itself, so we can offer it just like football, baseball, basketball, and they can go out and compete against different counties, different leagues. So that's the long-term goal, and eventually we can get involved in the schooling district where we can allow it through classroom interactions and maybe even get a team throughout the school district. So that's a long-term goal for esports for Lake City.
Right. And as Dashawn said, to find out more information about the Esports League and the upcoming Esports Tournament, stay tuned to the social media pages, the City of Lake City sponsors, the Lake City Esports Facebook and Instagram page, and our website, lakecitysc.gov. Dashawn, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. In just a couple weeks, on May 27th, we're going to have a public safety seminar with members of the Lake City Fire Department and the Lake City Police Department. So stay tuned. You will not want to miss that as we prepare for the upcoming holidays. And thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.